the administration is facing increased pressure to mount a more aggressive response to the crisis. This video shows the devastation in a village 15 minutes from the island's capital, where the wind came and took everything. Above, women retrieved drinking water from a natural spring in Toa Alta. 3. A lot's been said about how the defeat of Luther Strange in a Republican Senate primary in Alabama this week can be traced to frustration and fury with establishment politicians in Washington. But there were important local concerns at play, too. Questions had swirled about the relationship between Mr. Strange, above, who had been the state attorney general, and Governor Robert Bentley, who recently resigned under the threat of impeachment over his relationship with a close aide. In related news, Stephen Bannon, who backed Mr. Strange's opponent, is teaming up with two longtime benefactors to pull off similar upsets in other races. 4. Rep. Steve Scalise, above, made an emotional return to the chamber more than 3 months after a gunman nearly killed him during practice for a charity baseball game. Also on Capitol Hill today, representatives from Twitter briefed staff members on the Senate and House Intelligence Committees for their investigation of Russian interference in the 2016 election. There's evidence that Twitter may have been used even more extensively than Facebook in the Russian influence campaign. And the Congressional Black Caucus is pressuring Facebook to examine how it allowed Russian operatives to use ads to target Black Lives Matter. 5. Hugh Hefner, who created Playboy magazine and spun it into a media and entertainment industry giant, died at his home, the Playboy Mansion, in Los Angeles on Wednesday. He was 91. He advertised the magazine and himself as emblems of the sexual revolution. For years, he ran his business empire largely from his bedroom, wearing silk pajamas. In 2008, he sat down with us for the Times video series The Last Word, in which we interview people for their own obituaries. He'll be buried next to Marilyn Monroe, who was on the cover of the inaugural edition of Playboy in 1953. We collected some reactions, not all of them celebratory, from celebrities and commentators online. 6. The Navy is under urgent new orders to improve its safety procedures after 2 collisions in 2 months left 17 sailors dead in the Western Pacific. We obtained a copy of the 4-page directive issued earlier this month. Among the changes, no more 100-hour work weeks. More signaling in crowded waters. And commanders are requiring sailors to use old-fashioned compasses, pencils and paper to help track potential hazards. 7. The 2011 tsunami in Japan unleashed a huge exodus of marine life that hitched a ride on floating debris all the way to North America. A new study found that an unprecedented number of organisms from hundreds of species, mostly invertebrates like mussels, sea anemones and crabs, made the journey. But it's too early to tell how many have gained a foothold in North American waters, where they could challenge or even displace native species. Point 8. IBM now has more employees in India than in the US over the last decade. The company doubled the size of its workforce there even as it laid off Hugh. Workers, making it a prime example of the globalization trends that the Trump administration has railed against. IBM didn't create this, an American academic noted. But IBM would be a totally different company if it wasn't for India. 9. Notre Dame needs a makeover, and it hopes you can help. The famous Parisian cathedral, which was built in 12th and 13th centuries, is a jewel of medieval Gothic architecture. But it's crumbling, and the estimated cost for repairs is $180 million. A new foundation is soliciting donations from Americans, arguing that the site is part of a sentimental bond between France and the U.S. 10. Finally, before we get to the late-night roundup, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, the six-time Emmy winner, paired the news that she has breast cancer with a call for universal health care. The good news is that I have the most glorious group of supportive and caring friends, and fantastic insurance through my union, she wrote. The bad news is that not all women are so lucky, so let's fight all cancers and make universal healthcare a reality. Back to our regularly scheduled programming, Seth Meyers saw a downside to Twitter's announcement that 280 is the new 140, so to speak. The company is testing a version of its service that doubles the character limit for tweets. So we're now officially at war with at least 17 more countries, he joked. Your evening briefing is posted at 6 p.m. Eastern. And don't miss your morning briefing posted weekdays at 6 a.m. Eastern, and your weekend briefing posted at 6 a.m. Sundays. Want to catch up on past briefings? You can browse them here. If photographs appear out of order, please download the updated New York Times app from iTunes or Google Play.